Good day and welcome to our watercolor journey. Today we're diving into a quick and easy spontaneous painting. Along the way, I'll be experimenting with more affordable brushes to see if I can still deliver great results. I chose Faber-Castell, a trusted name in art supplies, and I must say, I was pleasantly surprised. These brushes held the shape beautifully, showed no loose bristles, and performed far better than I expected. Here is a list of the materials I used. As always, I'll also include it in the description for easy reference. Let's begin. My board is set at a gentle 30-degree angle, allowing gravity to guide the movement of the paint, creating natural and fluid spreads. To prepare the surface, I start by thoroughly wetting the entire sheet of the paper, ensuring an even absorption that will enhance the flow and blending of the color. I am using phthalo blue yellow shade from Holbein for the sky. I apply the blue carefully, concentrating it on the left side of the paper while preserving the white on the right. To introduce visual intrigue, I blend in a hint of red at the top, adding warmth and variety to the atmosphere. As I work my way toward the horizon, the color gently fades, creating a soft, natural transition. I begin by layering various colors across the midground and foreground, allowing the pigments to merge and create their own magic. On the right-hand side of my paper, where the white space remains untouched, I introduce the first wash of yellow, an initial foundation for the trees to take shape. As the paint and water gather at the bottom of the paper, I gently blot away the excess moisture with a kitchen towel. Now the painting must dry. I begin by spraying clean water over the yellow area, allowing the paint for my trees to blend naturally. If I applied a wet on dry layer instead, I would need to soften the hard edges, but at this stage I want to keep them to a minimum. It's beautiful to see that paint spread. Using a kitchen towel, I selectively prevent blending in certain parts of the foliage. To create visual interest, I incorporate both warm and cool colors. I added a little bit of clean water there. Now I lay down the initial layer of my tree trunks and branches. At this point, the colors will bleed, but I plan to introduce more defined edges in the next phase of the painting. I also establish the base of my trees to ensure they are grounded rather than floating. Additional marks and shapes help create the illusion of shrubs in the foreground, enhancing depth. To add texture, I splatter some pigments across the surface. Since I want to limit the number of hard edges, I use a spray bottle with clean water to soften the splatter marks. Now you can let your painting dry again. The foliage of the trees beautifully showcases depth. I'm now using a rigger brush, also known as a lighter brush, to shape the tree trunks and branches. Here you can add as many lines as you want and shape it the way that you like. I'm applying deeper tones at the base of the trees. And now I'm splattering marks within the canopy. I create the illusion of leaves, adding interest and preventing the trees from appearing flat. Next I layer darker grasses and foliage to add dimension, ensuring different elements in the painting don't sit on the same visual plane. Additional splatters in the foreground introduces texture, followed by another layer of deeper values and some dry brush techniques for extra detail. After signing my painting, I decided to soften some of the dark splatters in the foliage by adding clean water splatters. And here we have the final result. My takeaway is that even budget-friendly brushes can be quite effective, especially when they come from a reputable brand. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. Happy painting and see you next time.